Well, hi, all my friends. Had a great weekend. Brian and I, as you can see from the video, did the two of us Beatles song in studio, and so I hope you enjoyed the song. Let me know, give me a thumbs up. Lately I have been dealing with, as you know, this narcissist friend at work, and I'm feeling good, about being away and everything. I'm feeling healthy, and the distance has really helped. And also getting grounded and learning more about the situation and getting tools. And two things that I wanted to share with you that you may not know, that you might want to pass along to your own children and grandkids. And that's boundaries. But before I go into this, the trauma bonding that happens when you're in a toxic relationship or an abusive relationship. Picture this, if you will. You're in a lab, there's scientists, cage, and rats. And the scientists decide they want to find out what is reinforcement. What happens? So every time the mouse touches the lever, he gets a pellet of food and is reinforced to touch the lever so he'll get food. So he does this for a while and is reinforced and everything is just fine. Then they decide, well, what would happen if we took away the reinforcement? No food, okay? So the mouse tries to play with the lever, nothing happens. He gets bored and goes on to other things. So the scientists think, well, what would happen if we just gave it to him randomly, intermittently? Would he still get bored? So they do it. Well, the opposite happened. The mouse became obsessed with the lever and just kept at it and kept at it. That's what happens with trauma bonding or abusive relationships. Every time you get just a little bit of love, you are reinforced. So if you take it away and then give it when you want, then you're reinforced. Or, drama happens, abuse happens, but when you get that little reinforcement, you glom onto it and you're then again rehooked, if you will. It's the only way to get away from that is to get away, okay, completely, and to get grounded, and to also then work on your boundaries. I was raised with two deaf parents. Deaf people don't have a lot of boundaries that I've noticed in my life. They talk too much, say too much physicality. It is a part of their culture, but it doesn't really set boundaries for you as an individual, and only you can set your own boundaries. Others cannot set your boundaries for you. If they do, then you're not being true to yourself or being authentic to yourself. You're betraying yourself by not understanding your own feelings, wants, and desires. So when somebody crosses them and you allow them to, you betray yourself. So if your friends say to you, oh, come on, we're going to go and do this party, and there's going to be booze, and there's going to be grass, and there's going to be, we're going to have a great time, there's going to be quaaludes, and, and you're coerced to go because you want to please your friend, and you go, but it's not something that you wanted to do, then you're betraying your own boundary, your own self. Okay, so that's not really taught enough in my culture, okay, that I've seen. I still see interpreter coda friends who are way too, they say way too much, and it can lead to getting into trouble with other people who are narcissists, who look for that codependent person to take advantage of, to get their narcissistic source, whether it be positive or negative. okay? And then they hook you by that intermittent reinforcement that I just spoke about. So this is hard for men too, who have narcissistic women. It's hard for them to express their feelings and to talk about them. So mothers have to, and fathers need to teach their children about feelings. What feels good, what doesn't, you know. We talk about stranger danger, you know, that kind of thing, sure, but do we actually talk to them about boundaries and what that is and who determines that boundary? If a child goes to the mother and or father and they're busy doing something, mother's, you know, busy on the computer, father's busy playing, you know, a game or something, or he's busy with work and they need attention, and then they're told, oh, I give you plenty of attention, you're just, you know, you're being a spoiled brat. Well, then they feel shamed, they feel that they're wrong, they must have done something wrong. And that's then they you know, they don't realize that it's a boundary that their parent crossed, but they can't do anything about it because it's their parent. So, you know, as parents, we have to teach this to our children. This is the line, and you don't cross it. You don't let anybody else cross it. Okay? Our boundaries are also can be fluid because we will bring in more people into our circle. You know, first it's one person, then it's another person, then maybe perhaps it's a child or a puppy or something else, right? Well, animals are a little different, but you know what I mean? You have to know what your boundaries are and be flexible to know, okay, if you feel good, if you feel happy, then it's a good thing, okay? If it makes you feel bad or sad or unhappy in some way, then that's not a good thing, and you need to set your boundary and to express it. If I come home, honey, and you're always watching television and I'm not getting my needs met, you're crossing my emotional boundary here, and we need to sit down and talk about this. I need at least a hello from you, a kiss and a hug, and how is your day before, you know, I go on to what I have to do in the house and what you need to do. We need to acknowledge each other. You know, this helps me feel closer to you. It's that kind of thing. Okay, so these are things that not necessarily taught, and not taught in schools, and not until you maybe even get into psychology, and not even then, you know, there's couples therapy or anything like that. There's just, you know, these kind of things aren't taught. And then if you go to church, well, it's all about, love your neighbor and everything, but even that's not taught properly. What that means just being concerned for the welfare of your neighbor, and everyone is your neighbor. So, yeah, and in this relationship, I allowed certain of my own boundaries to be crossed, and I knew it was happening, but I still let it happen, and so I needed to really look at that as why I was doing that. And then once I realized who this person was and where it went to, and how I was trying to fix my original problem with this new person, by showing them love and concern and so forth, and now knowing that doesn't heal the narcissist, okay? That there isn't really a therapy that we have out there that can help them. And that's unfortunate and sad. And I hope that someone comes up with a treatment for these people, because you and I, who have loved them and care about them, I'm sure feel horrible that they have to go through what they're going through. It is not a pleasant life, at all to be a narcissist. If you read up on it, you'll hear more, but it's a very, from morning to night, they're searching and active, and their brains are active all the time, looking for some sort of reinforcement, negative or positive, from someone, and because they can't manufacture it themselves. And that is really, really sad, because we are all connected. We are all one, put into these bodies to have a separate experience that the Lord allowed us to have, to work on whatever issues we need to work on. And they can't even they can't even work on themselves. They can't improve themselves. They can't come out of the trauma that was put on them as children to make them who they are. And that's really sad, I think, and needs to be prayed about, and hopefully we can help them in some way in the future. Anyway, I'm hoping you all have a great Monday. Know that you're never given anything that you cannot handle. The Lord will not put in your path something that you cannot handle. Know this, that you can handle it. You can get through it. You will be okay. Things will change. This too shall pass, okay? And you will be on to better things in your life. So, when you can, get a chance, check out my studio performance. And I have an MP3 of the music's a little bit better than the in-studio sound. And we're going to do more. So, take care. Have a great week. Bye-bye, guys.